So, what is the topic today?
Today we will be learning these topics. We'll get across API documentation. Okay, we'll see how API documentation are done for Fusion API, how is for OIC APIs, the third-party APIs we will see. Then we will create backends and service connection. We will also see like how we can create application pages which can consume those APIs, whatever we discuss. So these are the three topics that we
Okay.
will be going through today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is your day 15 of VBCS training. Okay. So we will first see like how our APIs are defined for Fusion application. Okay. So Oracle provides you with the Fusion application documentation. Okay. Fusion application APIs. The documentation for those APIs are done and they are provided. You can go through those APIs. You can simply do a Google search and find like whichever API you want to refer. You can simply ask for like get all job details Oracle Fusion REST API. You can simply do a Google search and you will be like getting these suggestions to open this Oracle documentation and you can find your REST API whatever you are looking for. Okay. So for different branches, there are different documents. This is for Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials. This is for Oracle Fusion Cloud Procurement, and these are like Oracle Fusion Cloud HCM. Okay, so based on whatever branch you are working on, the documentation is separate. You have to like look for those documentation using your Google search, or even if you want, I can share you these documentation so that you can like make use of take a note of it and later if you require these APIs you can have those from the links itself. Okay, so coming back to our topic, so this is like for cloud financial these are the APIs that are listed. So here you can see like all the ERP integration related APIs. Okay, like job details and then invoices and invoice holds, supplier details, party details, payable, account payables, account receivable. You will find all those related APIs here. Okay, so if you want to use it, you this is the like branch where your API is reside. Your API is defined. Okay, so you have to provide this, and before this path, you have to provide uh, your application, your cloud application base URL. Okay, so since this is my cloud application, I will provide this base URL along with it, right? So this URL I'll provide, and the rest will fall into my home. So if I combine with my base URL and this URI part, then it will be a complete URL to which I can make a get call. Okay, and retrieve all details information, right? So I will show you using one of the tools, say Postman, and I will like retrieve whatever information, whatever invoices have been defined or created in my Fusion application, right? So I will open the Fusion branch, and here you will see like there are multiple branches within Fusion. Sorry, invoices. You will have apply prepayment to an invoice, calculate tax for the invoice, cancel invoice. These many things you will see. Okay, so I'll simply go and open this one, get all invoices. Okay, so this is the URI part which I have to provide and retrieve all the information. Okay, so here if you come below, you can see like these are the links that have been provided. So these are some of like related elements. So you can these are like the childs of this branch. Okay, so you can see till invoices it is given here, and these are like the child elements, like the action for it, the relation for this branch is like it is an action, and the action is apply prepayments. This is another action calculate tax. This is another action cancel invoice. Okay, so once I open this API, you will see like how you can see these information within this API call. Okay, so this is one of the example where you can like use this example. This is the curl command. You can make use of this curl command, and you can like create a get call, because this is the get operation. You can see here it is defined as get. Okay, so you can change based on whatever operation you are trying to make a call to. So based on that, you can change the method type. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply take this this curl command, and this is like a sample response body has been provided. It will give you an idea how the structure looks like. Okay, so you can see within items it is like an array type of structure. Okay, and within items you are seeing one invoices, and later if there are more invoices it will follow up below this. Okay, and this shows you the count, like the default count is 25. If you are not providing any filter, okay, you are not providing any limit, so the count will be by default, it will retrieve 25 number of responses, 25 number of invoices. Okay, records of those invoices. And if the flag has more is true, that means there are more records in this there are more invoices present. Okay, so you have to increase the limit, and there you will be able to see like what are the next sets of invoices, right? And these are some of the links, associated links. Okay, so it refers to it itself. Okay, so it refers to itself. You can see this is the same invoice URL, and this is one of the actions that you can see, like this three dots are given, means there are more links available, but it just for the like only to provide you the idea of how the sample response body looks, it has provided you two links. So you can see this is one of the action, and this action, you can see this is one of the action that we discussed above. This is cancel invoice. So the documentation whatever it is provided, you will see this is your cancel invoice. Okay, so it provides you some idea like which are the associated links within this this whole get all invoices API. Okay, so it will give you information related to cancels an invoice. When you cancel an invoice, all the invoice amounts are set to 0, and when the invoice can't be edited or submitted for processing. Okay, so this is used for canceling that invoice. Okay, now what you can do, you can simply for testing purpose, we will simply copy this example response. Okay, since this is a curl command, and let me see if I can copy it from here. So I'll copy and I'll come to my postman. Okay, I'll try to paste it. Okay, so this is not what is getting pasted, so I'll try to copy it manually. Let me select all these, go to the far right, and then I'll copy this, Control C. I'll come back to this and paste my API. Okay, now you can see whatever it has pasted before that. So if I undo this, you can see if I undo this, you can see there is like, okay, let me open a new response again, because it has already taken up some information that I was trying to undo. So I will open a fresh record, and what I'll do, I'll you can see there is no authorization as of here. You can see the header count is 7 as of now. Okay, so if I copy this whole curl command that I just copied it from there, now you can see the total number of headers is 9. Okay, so it brought what it brought. It brought authorization. Okay, and it brought some other like this content type, as it has brought up with itself. Okay, so here if you can go to your URL, you can see there was this content type given, content type application slash vndt.oracle. So this is the content type. This is one of the Oracle supported content type, how your response should be coming up. Okay, so that it will be able to retrieve the data whatever comes in response. Okay, so this is the content type, one of the headers you are seeing, that is what it populated right here. Okay, and you can even see in authorization tab, this was not selected, now it has selected basic auth, and it has provided you a username and an like any password. Okay, if you like open this, you will see the same thing. The entry parameters has been provided, like username and password is given like this. Okay, So this way your whole set is being created. Okay, so your whole set is being created. Now what you have to do, you have to like provide your username and password before making a call to your API. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply remove this. Okay, I'll remove this and I'll provide FINIMPL. Okay, and for password, what I'll do, I'll simply remove this. Okay, and I'll provide my password. Okay, let me give the password. 1 second. Okay. Okay, now I'll remove till here. I'll make a backspace and I'll paste it. Okay, now you can see this is my instance URL, and followed it is the URI part whatever was there. Okay, so it if I took the curl option, it has simply took up the necessary headers, the authentication type it has set by default whatever it was giving in the sample. So based on whatever requirement or whatever authorization type you have defined in your instance, you can change based on this. So later if you want to give like OAuth2 or some other bearer token or JWT JSON web tokens you have to provide. So based on this you can change and provide your credentials here. Okay, so for my instance I have a user with basic authentication as authorization, so I have used this user. Okay, so I will simply make a send request. Okay, I'll make a get request and I can retrieve all the information that has been defined into my instance. Now you can see within this items set IRS set, I am having invoices. One invoice is there. You can see it is having the invoice ID, this invoice number, this invoice currency, payment currency, and all the details related to invoices. You can find it right here. Okay, and below this you can find some of the links that is provided. This is you can see the relation. It is referring to itself. Okay, so it is referring to itself. It is referring to this particular record with this invoice ID. Okay, so you can see this same invoice ID 504. You can see at the end. Now you can see 489504. So this is referring to itself, this record itself. If you go and make a call to this will retrieve only this particular invoice information. Okay, next you can see this is the canonical response. Okay, this is also referring to itself, right? And now the relation changes. You can see this is the child element. Here you can see the kind is collection and the name is applied prepayment. Okay, so here when we saw the documentation, you might have seen these apply prepayments, calculate tax. So the same thing you will find right here. Okay, so you will find attachment, available payments, invoice DFF, invoice GDF, invoice installments, invoice lines. These will be followed up. Okay, and this is one set of your invoice. This is one set of one invoice. Okay, if you simply click on this row, line number 3, if you click on this below arrow, okay, it will collapse and it will show you the next response. Likewise you can even collapse this one and you can see the third invoice that is present. Okay, if you come to the very bottom, you can see this is how many invoices details have been retrieved. You can see the count is 25. Has more flag is true means you are having more than 25 invoices defined in your environment. Okay, if the limit is 25, that means the limit to search for one time is 25. Okay, by default this is the limit that is provided. You can change the limit. You can provide in parameter. You can provide limit is equal to 50, 100, whatever you want. If you want to retrieve more number of information, you can increase the limit value, right? Okay, and if you want to like after 25 you want to these many records, after these many records you have to see next set of 25 records. So here you can set the offset. Here it is provided 0. You can, it has retrieved till 0 to 24. So the total number is 25. You can make this as 25 and you can put the limit as 25. So it will retrieve next set of 25 records only. Okay, so that is how you can make use of your API call. Okay, so this is how your one of the fusion API that I have demonstrated, it is how it is retrieved. It is retrieving the information whatever is present. So if you want to see this same thing, so I will copy this invoice number. Okay, so let me copy this invoice number. I'll simply copy it. You can see these are the details, USD, currency as USD, invoice amount as 3300. Okay, so what I will do, I'll simply go to my instance. Okay, so let me remove this meeting recordings, and then what I'll do, I have like navigated to my payable section, and within payables I am having this invoices. Okay, so you can see if you expand this hamburger icon, you will see your payables present here. Okay, if you expand it, you will see your invoices. If it is provisioned for your user, you will see the invoices present, so you will have to open it. Okay, once you open it, it is the same page that is opened here. Okay, you will find the same layout, and here you can see a magnifying icon. You can simply click on this and you can provide your invoice number. Okay, so it says the double asterisks represent at least one is required, so you have to provide one of the fields as mandatory field. Okay, without any at least one of the fields, it is not possible to retrieve the invoice details. Okay, so I have copied the invoice number. I'll simply paste the invoice number here and I'll make a search. Okay, okay, once I have made a search, you can see the invoice number is shown up in the result. Okay, and its details are lined up along with it. Okay, so here you can see the unpaid amount is 3300. The invoice amount is also 3300. The currency is USD. Here you can see it is USD. Okay, and other information are followed up. Okay, you can even want to, if you want to see the full details, you can simply click on this invoice number and it will open up all the information related to this invoice. Okay, here you can see this is the invoice detail. This is the header part. Here you can see the line items. Okay, so there is one line item here present within line number 1. The amount is 3013.70. Okay, the ship to location is also provided, and the summary tax lines are also provided. So these are the details whatever you find here for your invoices. Okay, so this is how you make a call to your API. You test it using your tools like Postman or whatever you have, whatever tools that you want to refer. So you can refer multiple, there are multiple third-party tools that you can make use of. Okay, even in Visual Builder it is supported. You can create your service connection and make a call to these APIs. Okay, so next we will see, uh, here you have seen how we have made use of this API to retrieve the invoices information. Now we will see the same thing, how we can make use of this information and we can have it created in our Visual Builder. Okay, so for this I will create a fresh integration. Let me create day 15. Okay, I'll put my initials and I'll say finish. All right, now you can see once I have opened my application, I will simply expand it. Okay, sorry, not expand it, I'll expand this one. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll click on web application. I'll provide a web application name. I'll say demo application. Okay, I'll put demo app or whatever name that suits you, you can provide it. Then you just need to click on create. Once your application, your web app has created, it will load the default flow and default page. Okay, so this default page has been loaded. Okay, so next at this point I want to create some backend information. Okay, so this is here, you can see if you hover over it, you can see this is the services section. Just click on it. Now you can find this is the services connection tab and this is the backends. Okay, so backend you will see this integration application because this is your OIC URL. Okay, so your visual application is embedded in your OIC. Okay, so this instance, whatever your standalone instance of Visual Builder, it is inside your OIC. So here it is by default it is configured. Okay, so the backend for OIC is configured already, right? So you can see the OIC URL. If you open this URL, your OIC will open up. Okay, but there are some parameters missing. You have to provide your IC slash IC slash home. Okay, that way your OIC URL will open up. Okay, so if you want to see, like, you can simply copy this. Okay, and you can open this up. Okay, didn't get copied. Let me copy it again. Okay, I'll open this up. Okay, let's see if it loads. Okay, so it has taken it has resolved the URL, and you can see your OIC is getting loaded up. Okay, and once your OIC is getting loaded up, from here you can see the navigation part. You can click on this hamburger icon and you can see here your visual builder is present. So if you click on this, your visual builder, the same instance that you have here, the same will open up here also. Okay, so this is why your backend is automatically getting resolved, and it is getting configured here itself. Okay, so now I want to create another backend. Okay, so I want to create a connection using my Fusion application REST APIs. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply click on this create. Once I click on this create, you can see two options coming up, service connection and backend. So I want to first create a backend. Based on my backend, I will create a service connection. Okay, so I'll click on backend, and now you can see the set of backends that I can define for. So I can define for my Fusion application this section, Oracle Cloud Application Instance. This is for my Fusion application. This is my integrations. Okay, so you can create your integration. You can create a backend for integration, but for this instance, see, it is already defined. Okay, so if you want to forcefully change it, you can still create another looping in your other instance. Okay, and then you have process automation. You can loop in your process automation instance, and you can create a connection to it. You have the processes also. You can if you have some custom third-party REST API, you can make use of this custom, where you can create a backend based on that custom REST API. You can also create backends for your ADF describe. Okay, so now I want to create connection to my Fusion application. Okay, so this is where I can create the backend for my Fusion application. So I'll simply click on it, and now you can see this is the server identification part. It asks you to provide the string. You can see it is mandatory field, so you have to provide your instance URL. Okay, so how you can connect to your Fusion instance? You have to provide the base URL of your instance. Okay, so you have to provide your base URL of your instance. So I will simply go to my instance and I'll copy this base URL. Right, I'll copy this base URL. I'll do control copy, then I'll come back to here and I'll paste this. Okay, so this is my instance base URL. Once I tab out, you can see this is configured, and you can see this is the resolved backend URL that you can see. So it has configured. Okay, and now what you have server variables. It is not, if you have some, it will get listed up, but you don't have, you can leave this application profile. Okay, because it is already set. Here you can see this is your same thing configured. Okay, now if you have some custom headers or secure headers that you have for your instance, you can provide here, but I don't have it for now in my instance. I have this authentication tab. I can provide the authentication, how I can connect to my instance. Okay, so I have to provide whatever instance I am trying to connect. I have to provide the authentication method for my user. So I have a user that I tried with my Postman. I tried to connect, so I'm using the same user here. Okay, so I will select the basic authentication, because for my user I have used basic authentication. I have defined basic authentication. So I'll select this basic authentication. Once I've selected it, you can see a username is coming up. Once you click on this pencil icon, you can hover it. You can see it asks you to enter your username and password. Okay, so just click on this pencil icon, and here you can see it asks for your username and password. Okay, so I'll simply provide my uh, username, and then I'll provide my password. I have entered my password. Okay, I can simply save it. Okay, so this is my username, this is my password, and I'll save it. Once it is getting saved, you can see this is populated by default, the dynamics, the service support chorus. Okay, so it says like visual builder proxy will not be applied unless the authentication type require users of proxy. Okay, so if your connection is not secure, you can make use of these things. Okay, always use proxy, you can make use of these. If your like instance, it requires a different type of authentication, or it tries to create connection based on some like secure methods. Okay, so that way you can like toggle between these three options, whatever you want to configure. Okay, so these are providing the proxy. The VBCS proxy is applied, like it is providing an extra layer of security. Okay, so by default, whatever is supplied, I will make use of this. Okay, so since this is my Fusion application itself. Okay, so it is already secure. I will go with dynamic the service supports chorus. Okay, so between like communicating between this visual builder and my Fusion application, both of my instance have cross origin already enabled. So I will make use of this. If you are finding it difficult to like connect, you can try other options also. Okay, so this is the default option. I'll say create. Okay, if you have trouble creating somewhere, so you will get an error there. After you try to will get an error. Okay, throw you an error, authentication either wrong, you have some different type of error, so it will throw you an error right there. Okay, but if it is correct, it will simply create your backend. Now you can see earlier we were only having integration application backend, but now we can see our Oracle Cloud application is configured. Okay, so here you can see we have enterprise resource planning on this one also, and then I can have for HCM, I am having for sales and services. Okay, so these are the branches that you can see, and this is the server details. If you click on this, you can see the server details. For headers, we haven't provided any headers because there was no necessity for providing me for this particular my Fusion instance. I don't have any custom headers. If I go to source, you will find the source information highlighted. You can see in green it is highlighted. Okay, it will provide you the backend code, whatever backend code has been provided to configure this backend. Okay, so you can see the authentication is basic. Credential, it has tried to like encrypt in some method. Okay, encrypt with some encryption method, and it has encrypted it. Okay, and the type, you can see the description, you can see the URL that we provided, the services whatever has been provided, the template that we within that template we configured here. So that template was having some information like Oracle Cloud application. This is the service type information what is provided. And next, if you click on this, okay, you go to source, you will see the source here. So this whole source code, in whatever you go and see, the source code will be having all the information. The only difference is that particular service will get highlighted if you go to that particular information and click on source. Okay, but the documentation is same. It is having all the information for all the backends that is present here. Okay, so here you can see this is for your like main branch Oracle Cloud application. Here it is sales and services. Here you can see this is enterprise resource and planning supply chain, and here you can see human capital management. Okay, so this is how it is defined. Okay, now based on this, I want to create a service connection. Okay, so I will create a service connection. I will simply click on this, and I will create a service connection. Okay, now I have three options. I can either select from catalog. There is a catalog from which I can select and create a service connection. This is by specification. If I have a specification document that describes my service, I can make use of that documentation. Or if I don't have any backend configured, I am trying to simply have one of my like URL, and I want to create a URL connection based on that URL only. I don't have to go for backend. I will simply make use of defined by endpoint, and I'll provide my whole URL, and then I can create based on service connection based on this defined by endpoint. Okay, so this is for that purpose where I don't want to have a backend. I simply have my service URL, and I will provide my service URL and create my service connection. Okay, so since I have created a backend, I will select select from catalog. Okay, once I will select it, you can see this is for your OIC. The bottom one is for your OIC, and these three are for your Fusion application. This is for sales and services, this is for ERP, this is for HCM. Okay, so I will go and see like how I can retrieve the information from HCM. Okay, so if you have seen the documentation, this is the branch from where it is coming, FSCM REST API, and here you can see this is the FSCM, this is the REST API. So it means this will be here to it. It will take almost half or 2 minutes. Okay, it's a little time taking. We'll wait to load. Okay, we'll give it a minute or two that it gets. Okay, it will retrieve the list of APIs available. Okay, so that we can make use. We can bring our that REST API. We can bring that endpoint and we can create a service connection. Okay, so it will list those APIs available for this environment. Okay, so now it has loaded. It has taken almost 2 minutes, and now you can see the list of APIs that you can find in your documentation. All these APIs are listed right here. Okay, so how you can now search your invoices? Okay, so now you can go to your documentation and you have to find this one. Okay, so I'll simply copy this one, or I'll simply type there invoices. I will go up right here, and in the filters I will type. Okay, now it will list all the APIs branches which are having invoices in their names. Okay, so here you can see this is my invoices, and within it, if I expand it, you can see all the within this invoices, all the branches that are involved, sub branches. You will see all the sub branches or the child APIs, whatever is there, you can find within this invoices. Okay, so this is your root where your invoices is defined. I don't want the root. Okay, I want this invoices. So my purpose is to retrieve the information, all the invoices. Okay, so either I can create a fresh invoice, either I can retrieve all the invoices. Okay, so this branch gives me the facility to either retrieve all the information for invoices, and this is to create a invoice. This one you can see, if I provide the invoice ID, I will be able to get a single invoice details. I can make use of this invoice ID to provide and delete a particular invoice. I can provide the invoice ID to update a particular invoice information. Okay, so these things I can make use of. So I want only these five. Okay, so I'll select this one from the upper hierarchy so that both get selected, and I will select this one also. Okay, so this way you can see all files are selected. Now I will have to provide a service name. Okay, so I'll provide a service name. I'll say invoices. Okay, and now what I can do, I can simply hit on create. Okay, it will create the endpoints for it. Now you can see similar way we had for our business objects. In the same fashion, you can see your invoices branch. This get my to get all the invoices. This is to create a single invoice, and these are to do the some operations like retrieving, deleting, updating based on the invoice ID on a particular invoice. Okay, so here I can also test like what all information, what all invoices are there in my system. So I'll simply click on this, and here you can see I have a test section. So I'll go to this test tab. Now you can see all the parameters, query parameters are defined here. Okay, so this is the advantage when you select from backend and you configure your service connection based on that backend. So all your query parameters that are defined for your API, all that information comes up and gets configured automatically. You don't have to, if you are directly getting this whole information, if in just like in Postman, you simply picked up your whole URL and tried to test it with it. So here also you can simply create a service connection without defining a backend. Okay, but the problem what will happen, you won't get these many parameters. If you want to make use of these many parameters, you have to manually create the query parameter. You have to manually provide the headers. Okay, so that is like one thing that you have to take care of if you are trying to directly create a service connection instead of utilizing a backend. Okay, so I have like endpoints. So now I am not providing anything, just like I didn't provide anything in the Postman. Okay, I didn't provide any query parameters. I'll simply make a request, send request. Once I send it, it will like go in process, and the status you can see it is 200. Okay, and all the information you can see it has retrieved. Okay, the same thing that we got from our Postman call, the same thing we are getting here also. Okay, so if I go to the very bottom, you can see uh, the count is 25, has more is true, limit is 25. Okay, so this is how you retrieve the information. You can even test your uh, this invoices. Okay, so this is, you can see this has resolved the whole URL that you have had in the Postman. Okay, so both of these are similar, right? Now what you can do while you are testing, okay, and you have another person, you that person is also a developer, and that person wants to test that API. So what you can go and do, you can simply come up here. Okay, here you can see this is the code section. If you click on here, here at the right side, top right side, you can see there is a code. You can click on it. Okay, and you can find your curl command. Okay, so there are multiple type of commands that you can copy, create based on this the options provided. You can click on other things and you will get the information for that. If you want for HTTP, you will get the HTTP request command. You want curl, you can go for curl. You have some Java OK HTTP or other methods that you want to test with, so you can make use of select from this drop down and create your like command to create, make a search request. Now what will happen, if you have you have this tested, you have everything configured, now you can copy this curl command. Okay, so I will copy this curl command, and what I can do, I will pass it to the other user who wants to test it. So that also I have to take care of, like that person should be having this provision, or that person should be having that privilege that you are passing a password also. So once you pass this curl command, you are also passing the password, though it seems encrypted, but if the person knows how to like decode, he can even retrieve the actual password. Okay, so once you provide your curl command, now you can see your whole HTTP URL is provided, the same URL is provided. Okay, you don't see any authorization, but the authorization is there. The authorization is within headers. Okay, now you can see the authorization is coming like this. The authorization type is basic, and the authorization, this value is given. So this value is nothing different, it is a base encoded value. Okay, so if you go and do a uh, base 64 decode, it will like retrieve your value. Okay, it will retrieve your password, right? So you have to also take care of that while you are passing that authentication, or you can simply remove your password if before sharing. Okay, so this is how you can share your URL, or you can share your REST APIs. Okay, now coming back to your visual builder, what you can do, you have your invoices created. Okay, so I will also create I will create a backend for my so my few OIC backend is already there. Okay, if you want to go and see, you can see your OIC URL is there. Your authentication is by default it is set to Oracle Cloud account. Okay, and other things are by default whatever is there. Okay. So this is how your backend is configured for OIC. Okay, if you don't have your backend configured, you can simply go to this backend. You can create your integrations for OIC. You can create your backend. Okay, you have to provide your OIC URL. You have to provide your authentication for user. So if you are having a different instance of OIC, it is not like your visual builder is a standalone instance and your OIC is another instance. So you are, it is suggested you go with OAuth. Okay, either go with OAuth client credential. Okay, so make use of these things rather than going with basic or Oracle Cloud account. Just go with these options so that you will be able to configure your user your backend properly. Okay, so that you can make use of. So since my backend is already configured for OIC, I'll try to create a service connection based on that. Okay, so I'll click on this and I'll create service connection. Now I can have my for my backend, I will go to select from catalog, and here you can see my backend for integration application OIC is there. So I'll click on this. It will take some time to load, but it will not take that much time compared to what it took for Fusion. Now you can see these are the packages name. Okay, so if you go to your OIC, right, if you go to your OIC, I will simply open OIC. Okay, so in OIC you can see there are different packages. All your integrations are like defined under different packages. That is what you are seeing here. So if you don't provide any package name, it will come under default package. So all your integrations will be coming up into your default package. But if you are defining your integration into some custom package, or you have created a package and then like connected your package to your integration will show up in that particular package. Okay, so here you can see like in the design part, you can see your packages also there. Here if you click on this, you will find these many packages. Okay, and in the integration, okay, in the integration you can see, if you expand any of those, you can see like if there is a package also associated, you will see the package information. If it is not, it will show up in the default, okay, default package. But this will not show up. Why this will not show up? Those integration will show up that are active. Okay, so whatever integration which is in active state, not in logged state, not in configured state, not in draft mode, so those integration will not show up. Only that integration will show up whichever is active. Okay, so only the active integrations will show up here in the list. So now what you can do, here we have our hello world. Okay, so I have an Oracle provided sample hello world. So this is coming up into this sample package, sample oracle.hello world. Now this is my integration. Okay, so you can see this is get one type of method defined on this integration. I can even go and locate my hello world from here. Okay, so I'll remove this tag, and like that is was the username tag that was applied. It was providing some search filter, so whatever user that has provided, so it was updated by this filter was provided. Okay, and that username which I'm logged in, that username was provided. Okay, so that user, whatever user that has updated any integration, only those integration was listed. So I simply removed that filter, and now I will search for hello. Okay, so this was my integration. I will find my hello world. Okay, so this is the same hello world. You can even cross check with the version. It is version 1.2.0. Okay, here you can also see it is version 1.2.0, right? Now you can see this is under the package. There is a package tag also associated, sample oracle dot hello world. Okay, this is under the same package. Now what I'll do, I'll simply click on this and I will create a service connection. Now it says invalid service name, so I have to provide a service name. This is the mandatory field. So I'll say hello world. Okay, I'll say hello world, and I'll create whatever name that you want to give, you can give, and I'll create it. Okay, now you can see I am having a service created hello world. I am having a service created invoice. Okay, so this is for my Fusion. From Fusion I created a service connection. This is I created from OIC. Okay, so now even you, if you want to test it, you can go right here, and here you can see this is the path URL. So this is your base URL, whatever is there. Okay, and this is followed by your integration. Okay, 1 second, it got edited, I guess. Okay, so this is the like integration URI part, whatever is provided. So since this is a path parameter, you can see within curly braces it is provided. So path parameter is defined here. The default value is empty, the type is string, and this like blurred out required field is ticked. So it means it is a required field. and here you have other fields like flow id and email. Okay, so these are not required. If you want, you can define it, right? And here you can go to test, and you can if you want to test, you can provide your name. Okay, you can provide your name, and you can even provide other parameters if you want. Okay, so I'll simply go and test this integration. This is an active state. Okay, I'll simply go and run this integration. Okay, I'll try to run it from OIC, then I'll try to run it from Visual Builder, and we'll see like what is the response. Okay, so here you can see the from the last run it has kept and some information. Okay, so I'll simply remove this. I'll remove this as well, and I'll give for name, I'll give Malik. Okay, I'll give any name. All right, and then flow id, I'll leave the flow id because it is not mandatory. I'll leave this also if I want, but I want to have this information. So what I'll do, I'll have a temporary email. Let me open a temporary email so that I can provide that email. Okay, and we can get an email if it is passing on. Okay, so I have an email. I'll provide an email right here in this tab. I'll provide the email. Now I will simply run this. Now once I run this, you can see it said the information, the response is there. Hello Malik, well, messages, welcome to IC, check your email. Email is whatever email has been provided. Okay, so you can see the integration ran successfully. Okay, integration ran successfully, and you can go and see like there is an email also getting received. Okay, so whatever was configured within that OIC integration, it processed and it provided the output. It also sent an email. Okay, so this was a very simple application. Okay, you can even go to track instances and see like what are the last run within 1 hour. You can change the filter based on the timestamp, or okay, and you can see the parameter, the identifier was name, so it is showing up your name. Okay, the status and these information, how much time it took. Okay, now the same thing you can even try it from here. If you want to provide, you can provide a name, you can provide the query parameter, and you can simply make a send request. Okay, so whatever you have done, you can provide a name. So I'll say SAF. Okay, and I'll make use of the same email ID. Okay, because I don't want to create multiple emails. Now what I'll do, I'll simply make a send request. Okay, so it will make a send request. It will say the same output in the same manner. It is saying hello SAF, messages, welcome to OIC, check your email. Email is provided. Okay, if I go and check my email, I go to my main inbox. Okay, now you can see hello SAF is also there. Okay, the same only the name has changed. It is saying hello SAF, welcome to Oracle Integration Cloud. Okay, so you can see you can also call your API from here. This is your whole API. Okay, even you can see, you can track the instance. You can simply refresh it. You will see another call was made. Okay, so we made the call from our Visual Builder, but the call information, the history is also reflecting in my OIC instance. Okay, so you can even track your like instance run from here also, whatever instance has been triggered from here. Okay, so this is how you have configured your Fusion application service connection. You have configured your OIC service connection. Now I want to create a third party backend. Okay, so first I'll create a backend, and based on that I'll create a service connection. I'll go here, I'll try to create a service connection. Okay, sorry, backend. I'll go and create a backend. So this is what I'll try to select. I'll try to create a custom application backend. I'll go up here. I have to provide a name for my backend. Okay, so because I don't have any template selected, I am providing a custom backend. Okay, so I have to provide a custom name also. Okay, so I am trying to I am having this REST API, third party REST API. You can refer this documentation. Okay, let me provide this documentation URL to you so that you can make use of. I'll provide that in the chat itself. Okay, so later you can use this. So this is the documentation part. This documentation, you can find all the information related to a country, how you can make a REST API call. So these are the REST APIs what you can make use of. You can search the country name by its name. So this is a sample. You can see this is my base URL and this is the version of my API, and this is the name, this like URI part, and this is the parameter. Okay, so the sample name, your response, sorry, the sample API, you can see this is my base URL, this is version, this is name, and this is having a name. Okay, so it is providing EST, okay, some country name maybe, and this is the Duchess land. Okay, so you can simply test it right from your Chrome browser also. Okay, so you can even provide it right here. Okay, once you provide it, you can see all your information is received, and you can see this is for your Germany. Okay, so this fetched your information for Germany and all the details related to your country. Okay, so all the details like name, official language, the country codes, the other country information, like whether it is independent or not. Okay, the other informations like what is the other official names, Federal Republic of Germany, or in German it is written. This is like region, the sub-region, the languages, the latitude, longitude, whether it is landlocked or not, all the information, the area. Okay, other information like in different languages, what is the name, what should be the name. Okay, so you can find all the information listed right here, the population, other things. Okay, time zone, continents, flags. Okay, so everything you can find it based on this information. You can go to your documentation and like for different search parameters, you can have your API defined. It is taking the name, it can take the full name. You have to provide this query parameter, full name is equal to true, and provide your name. Then it can only make the search response based on the full name, so it will match the exact country name. If you make some typo or you are not providing the full name, it will throw you an error, it will not search up. Here you have to provide your full name. Here you can provide the make the search used based on the codes. Okay, so these are different type of codes you can make use of and do the search. These are the samples provided. These are like on different attributes or different fields you can make search. So this documentation provides all this information. Okay, so what I'll do, I will try to like retrieve the information of all the countries. Okay, so here you can see there is one response. Okay, so it is retrieving rest country dot all version name dot all slash all, but somehow this is not working at this time. The latest part, there is a git repository which like maintains all the like all the updates of this API. So the latest one is working with slash independent. Okay, so I will go and create based on that. So I will name this as countries backend. Okay, then I don't want to provide any custom headers. I'll simply go next. Okay, next, then I'll provide the instance URL. I'll copy it right here and I will remove this one, whatever I copied from earlier. I'll provide independent. Okay, I have the documentation from part. I will provide this one. Okay, we'll remove this, we'll provide this independent. Okay, if you want to provide some description, you can provide, or else leave it. Okay, I don't have any authentication. I can make without an authorized. This is not an authorized call to the API, so we are not providing any authentication. I'll leave it to none. Okay, the connection type also I don't want to change, and I'll simply create it. Okay, now once you have created it, you can go and see in your backend you have your countries backend created. Okay, based on this I will try to okay, I have to provide only till 3.1. okay, so this should be my base URL. Okay, it is advised only to keep it as short as which is possible. Okay, so just try to keep it to the base URL when you are trying to define the backend, then simply save it. Okay, now what you can do, you can create your service connection based on your backend. Okay, so I'll go and create from catalog. Now you can see a custom type of template sorry, service connection backend is also listed here, the countries backend. Now I will select this it will give me an option either to go by a specification document or go by endpoint. So I will go by endpoint because I have the endpoints, different endpoints here. Okay, so this is the backend. It is giving a uh, like a pseudonym for the backend. Okay, and now I have to provide the branch name to which I am making the call. So I have to provide independent. Okay, so I will provide independent. Okay, I'll get this one. I'll provide independent. I'll remove an extra backslash, and then what I'll do, I have to make the service name. I'll provide countries. Okay, and I'll name this countries. Then what I'll do, I will leave this get many as get many because I'm retrieving all the list of independent countries. Then what I'll do, I will leave this transform as it is. I'll go to server. I will see if I am having some information that I need to configure. Yes, I have to leave this as it is. Then I will go to operations. I'll go to request. Okay, so request, I don't have to put anything. I'll go to response. I'll simply go to test. Okay, and I'll make a call. Now you can see it will take some time. Now it has made a call and it has retrieved a lot number of response. So it has retrieved the list of all the countries that are independent. So you can see like multiple countries coming up in the list. Okay, so to like create a utilize this in a front end application, you have to also save the structure of your response so that whenever you create a ADP HDP using an endpoint, you will be able to make use of the saved response. Okay, so it can save the structure at least how the, so here once you come back later, you will see the example response here. Okay, so I will go and like save this response. Okay, so I'll simply save a response. Since this is a very big response, it will take some time. Maybe the page will crash, but we will wait for some time. Okay, so I'll give it some time to save it. Okay, let's wait for some time. Okay, I'll wait again. Once it is saved, you will get a notification at here in the bottom. Okay. Okay, it is still taking time. Okay, now you can see the schema created. For example, if you go back to response, okay, now you can see the structure is created. Okay, now you can simply create your service connection. Once you click on this, your independent service connection, the branch independent is created, your country is here, service connection is there. Okay, now I want to add one more branch using the backend, so I will click on this endpoint. Okay, later if you want to add more, you can simply click on this endpoint and try to create based on the same backend. The backend is, you will see right here. And what I'll do next, I will make use of the other branch. I will go and make use of this one. Okay, so I'll copy this and I'll provide it right here. Okay, I'll remove the extra slash. Now what it will happen, like based on the name, it will make search. Okay, in the request tab, you can see this is a parameter, so it is defined in path parameters. It is, so I provided in the URL itself, that is why it has made it mandatory. Okay, default value I'm not giving, the type is string. Response, you can see it is still empty. I can go to test, I can provide any name. I will provide India and I'll simply make a send request. Now you can see it has given me an error. Okay, so I'll see whether I provided the correct URL or not. Okay, I'll go to let me see, I think it was name. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll make a send request. Now you can see it has retrieved the name. Okay, the name, and within this name I have provided the name. So it has provided, since this is like it is making search based on this name. Okay, so it has provided me two results. It is also bringing British Indian Ocean Territory, and the next you can see there might be India also. Okay, there will be India also present. So I guess right here, if you see, yeah, this is for your India. Okay, so this is the information that you find there. You are getting two responses. Okay, later we will see how we can refine the search later. Okay, so what I can do, if I want to refine it further, okay, so what I can do, I can create a static parameter. Okay, and here in the documentation you have to see how you can refine the search. Okay, so I'll again go back and refer the documentation, and I will see if I am having some filter as well. Yeah, so it says full name. If you are providing the full, you can see name flag is here. Now I'll go back here and I'll provide the static parameter. Now full name. Okay, full text I'll set it as true. Okay, now you can see if I go to test. Okay, now you can see in this whole URL whatever is resolved, you can see this is the same URL that you can find it here. Okay, this is the same URL. Okay, so you have to provide a country name and then you have to put this query parameter. Okay, so now if I make a search send request, now you can see only one result is getting fetched up. Only India is coming up because it is only bringing like one result. It is considering as a full name and it is making a get call. Okay, that is how it is trying to retrieve one country name. Now I'll simply save it. Okay, I'll save this one. Okay, it says attempt to fetch. Okay, attempt to refresh the body field with code. Okay, I have to sample as well. Okay, now I have it. So I have sample response. So how I am making what I'll do, I will. So I have created based on OIC, I have created based on a third party REST API, and I have created based on my Fusion. Okay, this is how I'm trying to create a service connection. Now what I'll do, so my part is covered where I will was explode. I can create a and service connection. Okay, now I'll try to see how I can create application by consuming those APIs. Okay, so whatever API I have tried page, try to create one page. I'll say this as country search. Okay, I'll try to search a country. I'll try to create an application page and I'll try to search country. Okay, so what I can do, this is the by default template. Now I'll simply remove everything. I'll bring my own customize my own page. I'll simply open search heading part. I will even open the structure so I can see the structure. I'll drag it here. Now what I can do, I can bring a rule. Okay, so there is some proper aligning. I will remove the rule from search. Then what I'll do, I'll bring a input search or maybe input text also. Okay, so I'll bring input text. I'll drop it below here. Okay, now what I can do, I can bring a panel so my table is properly aligned. Okay, I'll bring a panel. Then what I'll do, I'll bring a table. Okay, let me go to the design tab and see if it is loading up properly. Okay, now I will bring the table. I'll drop it in the panel itself. Okay, now you can see I have a text parameter and I have a table. Okay, now what I can do, I have to provide the input from my user. Okay, so before that, what I can do, let me find a form layout first. Okay, so that my search is properly aligned. Form layout. Okay, I'll bring the form layout, I'll put it right here, and I'll try to bring my search inside this input inside this. Okay, now what I can do, I will select the form layout and I will make it to start. Then I'll go select my input search. Okay, input text. Input text is not selected. I'll select from here. Then I'll remove this and I'll say country name. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to receive the information from user and I have to store it somewhere else. So I will create a variable. I'll create a page level variable. Okay, I'll go create var country input. Okay, I'll make it as a string type. Okay, because my country name should be a string type, I'll simply create it. Okay, all right, now I have to like whatever my user enters, I have to show that information in the table. Okay, so I for table, what I need to do, I will go to design type, I'll go to data, and here I have to go to quick start and I'll retrieve all the information of my table from an HTTP. Okay, so I'll go and use the quick start. I'll go and see how from where I can retrieve the information. Okay, in my countries I have two endpoint, so I am going to filter the country name based on whatever name the user provides. So I'll make use of this one and I'll simply go and say next. Okay, now it will ask me whatever fields I want on uh, my table. Okay, so I will find the name first. Okay, so my name is here, so I will, in the name I have to select common. Okay, because there were multiple types of name present here. If I can open this one, you can see my name is within this common, then there will be official name, so I want this common name. Okay, so that is why I selected this common. Okay, then what I'll do, I will select other fields. I'll select capital. I have capital here. Then what I can do, I can select area. I'll select the total area of that country. I will select the continent. Okay, then I can select what I can select. I'll select population. Okay, I will select time zone and I will select flag. Okay, so I'll expand. You can see flag here. You can see if I'm having flag properly. I'll scroll below and you can see this is the flag. Okay, and this flag I will make use of this PNG, the image whatever image is there on this URL. Okay, so I'll go this way and I will select the flag PNG one and I'll make this PNG as variable result getting populated with this message. Okay, now what I can do, I will go back to my page designer again, right? I'll go back to my page designer, I'll go to live mode, I'll provide a name, right? I'll provide a name, I'll say Ramesh. I'll provide the email, this email I'll simply copy and provide. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll submit it. Once I have submitted it, okay, I just to confirm, I had to provide the notification, so I was able to confirm. Now you can see it is providing in the text area, it is providing Ramesh, welcome to OIC, check your email. Okay, so it is providing me this information, right? So since I have applied the next line character, that is why it is giving the next line, the rest part of my remaining part of my response in the next line. Okay, it is not giving up in the same line, right? Now what I want, I don't want to let this double quotes coming up. Okay, so what I can do, I can go to my action chain again. Okay, I'll again assign a variable, and I'll say my variable, the same variable I'll assign var result, and in the value what I'll do, I will say var result, and now I'll say there is a inbuilt JavaScript function, I'll say replace all. Okay, replace all, and I will replace this I'll put a single quote, and within single quote I'll provide a double quote. So wherever place it will find a double quote, it will remove it with empty space. Okay, so there will be no space since I haven't provided any space, so all the occurrence of double quotes will be removed like this way. Okay, so this inbuilt function dot replace all, variable name dot replace all, and then you can provide all the pattern that you want to remove. So if you are having some other pattern, say at the rate, you can provide at the rate. If you are having some other character, you can put that character, and you can give your like how the response should look, you can remove that, or you can replace it with other character. Okay, so you can make use of that. So I am replacing only the double quotes. Okay, I'll say save, and here I can see if everything is okay. Yeah, everything is okay. Now what I'll do, I'll simply save it, and now what will happen if I go to my page designer, I will, let me put the reset also. So after doing everything, my all the values will be reset. Let me bring it right here, and I'll reset variable email, variable result, variable name, and my text area also. Okay, the rest area is already removed. Okay, so now I can go here, I will provide my name. So I will say Dharma, I will provide the email, same email I'll provide. Okay, I'll submit it. Now once it is submitted, you will see the output. Okay, I didn't have to replace the output as well, so I resetted my output as well, and I resetted something else. So I'll reset my name. All right, I have reset my name, and I will bring a if condition as well. Okay, I'll bring a if condition. Then what I'll do, I will take the okay status, I'll say it is true, then I'll fire a notification, and I'll say what I'll say success, and if it is not true, I'll add a else, I'll bring other fire notification, I'll say error. All right, now I can go to my action chain, I will say Farooq, I'll give the email, same email. Okay, and now I'll submit it. Now you can see since I didn't change this one, the color or that information within this notification type. That is why it is showing me the information in red colors. I can change it later. Now you can see the name is coming up, Farooq. Now the double quotes are also gone. Welcome to IC, check your email. I can go and check my email. Okay, so I can go back and I will see whether I received that email or not. Okay, so I'll see whether I received. Now you can see, hello Farooq. Hello Farooq, you can see the mail, the same mail. Hello Farooq, welcome to Oracle Integration Cloud. We can also see it here, how many times it ran in the Oracle integration itself. You can verify it. You can find all the instances when you triggered it. You can see the Farooq, the latest that we ran. It was just now. It took 37 milliseconds of time. Okay. So this is how you can make use of your OIC integration, and you can consume it within an application page, right? Now I will show you how you can utilize your Fusion application. Okay, so I will create another page. Okay, I'll create another page. I'll say create invoice. Okay, I'll say create. Okay, now what I can do, I'll remove everything. I'll quickly bring heading. So are you people following, or like are you finding it boring or useful? Whatever you have anything to say, you can ask. Okay, bring rule. I'll bring a panel. Okay, I'll bring form layout, place one, and this time what I'll do, I'll bring two form layouts. Okay, I'll bring one more form layout. I'll drop it side by side. Now what I'll do, I'll bring input text. Okay, I'll drop in input text 1 2. So you can see I have tried to create a invoice. Okay, so here you can see I have tried to create an invoice. Let me clear this one. Okay, now you can see I have tried to create an invoice using these many parameters. Okay, so in the body I have given invoice number, invoice currency, invoice amount, invoice date, business unit, supplier side, invoice lines, and line number and amount. Okay, so these are some bare number of fields that I need to provide to create an invoice. Even if you don't want to provide invoice lines, you can skip this. You can simply remove it. You can like based on the invoice ID, you can later create the using the patch operation. You can create the patch operation and you can update that invoice giving that invoice ID. Okay, so you can make use of that API call and add the line number or whatever information that is required later. Okay, so let me create one invoice. Okay, I'll say this as 600. Okay, and then what I'll do, I will create it right from here. Okay, so if I show you in the application as of now, uh, let me refresh this. So guys, till now if you have any questions you can ask. Okay, you can unmute and ask if you have. If you don't have, well and good. Okay, once I am in my cloud application, Fusion application, I'll go and see like if I am having that API there or not, sorry, my invoice number there or not. I'll go to payable, I'll go to invoices. Okay, now what I'll do, I will open this magnifier. I'll provide the same invoice number. I'll copy it right from here. I'll copy this one. I'll provide the invoice number. I'll search from it. Now you can see the invoice number is already there, so we cannot create it again. So I will search using some different invoice. So even if you are providing it and if I send it, now you can get the error. Okay, you will get an error. Okay, let's wait for this error. You can see you must provide a different number. There is already an invoice with that number. Okay, so it will give you a 400 bad request. Okay, so let me check for 23. Do I have any 23? Okay, I'll go and say done. I'll again open the search. I'll make it 23. I'll search it. No, you don't have any invoice number with ending with 23. Okay, now what I can do, I can simply go right here and I will change this invoice number. Okay, I'll change this invoice number to 23. I'll create it. Okay, these are the response headers that you can see, whatever header it is returning from the server. Okay, in the body you can see all the details of your response, 201 your status message, and the response is getting here. You can see the invoice ID, you can see the invoice number, invoice currency, payment currency, invoice amount, invoice date, business unit, all the information which are provided or not provided, the list will be created, and whatever by default whatever value it took, it will map it. Like for party, it took from supplier and supplier side, it took from party, it took to party and party side. Okay, and other information, budget date, it also set, and other things it got set. Okay, and you can see also the invoice lines coming up. Invoice line number is here, invoice line amount is here. These things you can see. Okay, now in the front end I can also go and verify if I'm having that or not. So 20, now you can see the number is here, invoice amount amount that sub from here it was 600. The same way you can see this is your 600 and the line amount it is 400. The line amount we provided 400. Okay, so this is invoice created. All invoice I have created using the bare minimum fields whatever was required to create a invoice, the AP invoice. Okay, now what I can do, I will try to create it using my Fusion application. Okay, I will provide the same set of information. I'll try to take my user input. I'll have from my user number, invoice amount, these many fields receive my from my user in my visual application. Okay, so I have a total of 1 3 4 5 6 7. These many fields I'll have in one form. 7 fields I have in one form. Okay, and these numbers, these things I will create in input text. This I for this I will have input date. For these two I will create using select single, a drop down I'll create for these two, and this one I will select again the input text. Okay, and for invoice line I will have a table type. I will add lines. Now I will simply reduce this and try to create 7 fields. So for here I have to provide one invoice number, currency, amount. Okay, so first I'll bring 3 input text. I'll have 1 2 and third one I'll drop it here. Next I want to provide the invoice date, so I'll bring date. Okay, input date I'll provide it below here in the form layout itself. Okay, now date is here. Now I have to provide, after date I have to provide what? I have to provide business unit and supplier. Okay, so I'll make use of this select many component or select single component. I'll drop it within this other form layout. Okay, so I'll drop it right here, and then what I can do, I will I'll again bring one more. Okay, I'll bring one more select single, I'll drop it below here, and then I will bring a input text. Okay, I'll bring the input text, I'll drop it below this. Okay, now you can see both of these are very much like attached to each other. I'll try to close this one. I will uh, I'll try to reduce the size by some amount. Okay, and I'll try to, for this I will go and change the label to start. Okay, for this I will also make it as start. Alright, now you can see your layout is created, and then you have to name everything. You have to go and the code you can go and put the name quickly. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go right here, I'll take the same name, invoice number, I'll come back, I'll remove this with invoice number. For next I will have invoice currency, I'll create for invoice currency. Next I will have invoice amount, I'll copy this one, I'll create invoice amount. Next I will have my date, so I will have my invoice date, I'll name as invoice date. Okay, next I have business unit. Okay, so I'll go right back to here, I will remove this with business unit. Okay, I'll go back again, I'll find supplier also, I will remove the select single, go to supplier, I'll go back again, I'll select supplier site, I'll remove this text, I'll remove this with supplier site. Okay, if I go to live mode, now you can see all the fields are properly mapped. Next, what you can do, you have to, for line number I'll make another layout. Okay, so I'll bring a horizontal rule. Okay, I'll drop it right below here. Okay, I'll bring another panel. Okay, I'll bring another panel, I'll drop it below this one, and here what I can do, I can bring a form layout. Okay, I'll drop it here. Okay, and in this one I'll bring one input text, another input text for line. This one will be for line number, this one I will put for line amount. Okay, and then what I can do, I will select this one, this form layout. Okay, and then I will bring it to start. Right, will bring it somewhere here. Okay, now what I can do, I will bring one button to insert these records in my table. Okay, I'll bring a button. All right, bring a button, I'll drop it below this. Now you can even change your button layout, you can bring it here, and then I'll name this as, okay, this input text, I'll name this as line number. Okay, I'll make this as line amount. Okay, and this button I'll name it as insert. All right, and then what I can do, then what I'll do, I'll bring another horizontal rule, I'll drop it below this panel, I'll drop it below panel. You can see it is below panel. Now what I'll do, I'll bring one more panel. Okay, I'll bring one more panel, I'll drop it below this. Now what I'll do, I'll bring a table. Okay, bring a table, drop it right here. Okay, sorry, 1 second, I have to drop the table into my panel, inside my panel. Okay, I'll drop the table inside my panel. Right, Now you can see your structure to have your invoice header lines, you headers, you have this, and in the table I'll insert the line numbers one by one. I'll have this receiving from my user. My user will provide the line number, line amount, and once he selects insert, this will be inserted. It will be pushed back to my table. For table to store that information, I will create ADP so that it can store whatever information in an array type of structure. So later once we provide, so this can have multiple lines of invoice lines. It can have one record. In the similar way, if I want to create for more lines, I can copy this, I can give a comma, I will provide this one more line. Okay, so I can change. This is the 600 total amount. This is for one item, it is 200 for, sorry, 400. For second item I can even make it as 200, so that my total amount is covered. 400, 200 is 600. So within one invoice I can have two items, more than two items, but the total amount should be either less or equals to this invoice amount. Okay, so this is how it is, it should be working. Okay, so just for like having an array of line numbers, I am trying to create that information. I am trying to push that information in an array type of variable, ADP variable, so that whenever I try to push it to my API, I make a call to my API, all that line details coming from that array will be pushed up as an array in the body. In the body API body, it will pushed as an array. Okay, so this is how I can like create my API, sorry, my invoice. I can create a fresh invoice. Okay, so I'll name this as create invoice. Right, I'll name this create invoice, and here what I can do, I will bring another heading. I'll drop it below this line. Okay, and I'll name this, I'll reduce the size, I'll say line items. Right, now if I open this one, let me change the default page. I'll go to settings of this main flow, go to settings, I'll change the default page to create invoice. If I open this, now you can see the application loading up properly. Okay, now you can see I haven't initialized any table information. The structure was already only there. That is why it is showing you the invoice, this form type of structure. There is no data in it. There is now, because we create quick start configured this data. Okay, so for line number, these are like simple input text, and this is one insert button. Okay, so what I can do, let me close all the tabs, unnecessary ones. I'll open this one. What next I can do, I can create the data for these things. Okay, so I will create for business unit and supplier, but as of now I don't have business unit service and connection. Okay, I only have for invoice. I don't have any business unit. I don't have for supplier. Okay, so I have to first create for business unit and supplier if I want to show it in a drop down manner. Okay, if I don't want to put in a drop down manner, I can simply, I would have bring the input text similar to these, and my user would be able to like remember that business unit name and provide it. Okay, so I, for that giving my user that ease, what I'll do, I'll simply create a service connection, and based on the service connection I can create an HDP type of variable, so that my data will be loaded in the drop down. Okay, so I'll go, since my Fusion backend is already there, I'll go and have my service connection created for business unit, and there was one more uh, supplier. Okay, so I will go to this FSCM REST API. Okay, so I can create it, two service connections separately for those, but since it is taking time, just to take care of the class time, because it is already taken up till 10:24, So I will try to bring both the in supplier and business unit endpoints in the same service connection. Okay, so we'll let it load, then we will bring both the service connections. We'll try to create within a single service connection. We'll try to uh, have them both. Okay, so we'll let it load. It will take another 2 minutes, so just wait for it. So now it has brought up all the information. Now what I can do, I will find, let me give this as I can bring BU and supplier. Okay, I'll go and search supplier. Supplier, yeah, this one is for supplier. Okay, I'll expand the supplier one. Once it is expanded, I will open this one. I'll get this supplier one. I can even include this one also, so that later I can provide any supplier ID and I can fetch a singular record or I can update it. So I will include both these for future purpose. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to bring business unit. So I'll search with business unit. Okay, now this is not what I want. This is B2B built to business unit. This is not what I want. I will go search business unit. Okay, let me see where I can get business unit. Business unit, yeah, this is the one where I get business unit. Okay, you can refer the documentation. You can refer this documentation. Business unit, let me search business unit. Okay, get all business unit. Okay, now you can see this is the branch that I was trying to refer, Pin business unit LOB. Okay, now you can see I am on this same branch, Fin business unit LOB. So I'll select this. I don't want, this is the root, I want these ones. Okay, so I'll select this one, I'll select this one. Okay, to get many and get one also. Okay, now both are selected. One I selected for supplier, another I selected for business unit. I'll say create. Okay, all right, so now you can see for this business unit it is there. For supplier also I can have all the, I am having all the uh, these branches. Okay, these are some information. I don't know, in this instance somewhere some other language might have been provided as description, that is why it is showing. So this is none of your purpose, you can simply ignore this. Now you can come to your invoice one, your invoice page. Now we will be creating the list of values for our business unit. I'll simply go to the business unit. I'll go to quick start. I'll add the options. Now I will expand this one. In this I have to get the business unit. Okay, so I'll select the business unit one. I'll say next. Now in this, I will select business unit name and business unit ID. So I actually want business unit name only. Okay. In the label, I also want to show business unit name. In the backend, I also want to have business unit name. But here I cannot select the same field at 2 points. So later we will change. I'll show you how we can change it later. Okay. Next, I will give next. Okay. So here I don't have any mandatory field, that is why I'll say finish. Now once it is done, if I go to live mode, if I expand this one, you can see a list of all the business unit that I have in my application. It is getting loaded up, right? So this is all the business unit that I have in my Fusion application. Okay. For now, next I want to have for supplier also. So I'll go to extract, I'll add option, I'll expand this one, I'll go to suppliers, I'll go to next, then it will take some time to load. Okay. So we will let it load. The structure, endpoint structure is loading up. Okay. Now what I want business unit name. Okay. Not business unit name, supplier name. Okay. So I'll come below and see I have supplier name or not. Okay. Supplier. Yes, supplier. Okay. I'll select supplier, and for value also I want supplier, but there is no supplier present. So I will use supplier ID. Later I will change. Okay. And I'll go say finish. Here I don't have any mandatory field. I'll say finish again. Now you can have your supplier also. You can have your supplier, the list of suppliers you will get. Okay. Now here you can see two types are created based on the response. Okay. So it is not, it is just calling your API. That API, that service connection it is trying to call, and that value what is getting retrieved, it is getting saved in this type. The type is created, the endpoint structure, and this variable are created. So the data is stored in this variable. Whatever data it is getting loaded, it is getting fetched from here, and you can see this endpoint it is getting called get all financial business unit LOVs. Okay. So this endpoint is getting called. Here you can see the key attribute. So this is where we can change it. Okay. Why we are changing? Because when we are making the REST call, in the drop down I am able to see the business unit, but in the backend when I'll make the API call, it will take this business unit ID. Okay. But here you can see in the body I am sending a business unit name, not the business unit ID. Okay. So to remove the unit, if I click on here, the drop, select the business for this one. So that how you can get the in the drop down on the UI page, you can have the business unit name also, and in the backend whatever is getting passed, you will have the business unit name also. Okay. And for this one also I will change this one, I will change to supplier. Okay. Now this is getting updated. Okay. Now this doesn't change any functionality on the front end. You can still see the same values. For supplier also you can see the same values. Okay. So next what we can do, we will see this is insert. Let me bring it somewhere here. Okay. Now what I can do next, I will create some variables. Okay. I'll create some types and then I'll create some variables, right? So I'll create some types to hold the information whatever my user enters in these. I will try create a type. Okay. So I'll create a type based from my endpoint. Okay. So to create an invoice, I will open this invoice one, I'll open this one. Okay. I'll open anyone, get or push. So I'll go to next. Okay. Once I go to next, it might take some time because this API service connection, it is trying to go to service connection. Okay. So sometimes it takes some time to call this one. Many times it will not call up, so you can simply go and cancel it. You can again open this one from endpoint, expand find this one again, invoices. See if this works. Next. Okay, I'm trying to click but it is not happening. Sometimes it is slow, it will take some time, but have patience. Open this up. Now what you can do, you can have your details whatever you want on that page. Okay, so I want my invoice number. Okay, so I'll find invoice number. Here you can see invoice number. Then I have another field, invoice currency. I'll find invoice currency. Do I have invoice currency? I'll search for invoice currency. Yes, I have invoice currency. Next I'll search for invoice amount. Do I have invoice amount? Yes, invoice amount. Then I'll see I have invoice date. I'll go and see invoice date also. Next I want business unit. Do I have business unit? I'll go up here alphabetically. If I am able to find business unit, business unit is there. Then I have supplier. I'll search supplier alphabetically, it will be at bottom. I have supplier. Next I will be having supplier site. Yeah, supplier, then supplier site. Okay, this is done. Now for invoice line I also have to select. You can see invoice line also. So this will select an array. Here you can see from these icons you can understand these are a structure, array type structure. You have to find your invoice lines. Okay, and within items you have to select line number and line amount. Now go bottom and this is your invoice line number and invoice line amount. Okay, now you can see the structure is like this. Okay, this is your type created, and based on this type we will create the variable. You can even change your this type name later. If you want to also change, you can change it right from here. Okay, so I want to create an invoice, so I'll let it be. I'll go and create a variable based on this. All right, so I'll say var create invoice. Select this one from the suggestion. Then what I'll do, I will select the type that I created. So I created this type. Okay, now you can see all the list of fields that I have in my type. It is imported right here. Okay, now since this is not used, it will be like this. All right, now you can see I have two HTTPs here, right? So I have two HTTPs here. I'll go to this part and I'll create more types. Okay, so I'll create the line items, right? So I will create line items so that I can create an HTTP and store that in my table. My table will be getting data from somewhere. Okay, so I'll try to create a custom type. Okay, so I'll try to create a custom type, and within this I will create some fields. Okay, I'll have two fields, one for line amount and one for line number. Okay, I'll name this field as line items. Line line items. All right, and this one I will okay. Oh, not this one. This is the different field that I selected. I have to name this one type. I will name the type as line items, right? This is of type object. Okay, so that it can have multiple fields. Now for this field one, I will make this as line amount. All right, and the type should be of number type, and this one I'll name it as line number, right? Type should be okay, type should be of number type. All right, so line item I created, and based on this I'll create a variable. All right, I'll create a variable. Right, I'll create var. I'll create var, and var I will create current row or anything that I want to give name to it. Okay, so for this I will say current row, because I want to save for any current row. We'll say current row line items. Okay, and I'll make this as this type, the type that I created, line items. Right, now this is here, and then I want to create a ADP. Okay, So I'll create the ADP. All right, I'll create the ADP. I'll go to variable. All right, and I will select this one, ADP array data provider. I'll name this one as variable line items. Okay, we have suggestion. Okay, all items. Key attribute, I'll select as line number. Okay, now I have my create invoice done. I have my current row done. I have my ADP done. Okay, so I have my 4 types and 5 variables. Okay, now I'll try to simply map it. Right, here I will go, I'll change the structure of this table. From for data, I'll get the data from this ADP type of variable. I'll select this one. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll select whatever the fields that I or the columns I will have. So I'll expand this one. I'll select line number, line amount. All right, so now line number and line amount. Okay, now what I do, I will, and then select the date which field will. This is my, I'll go expand this, create invoice. Where create invoice, I'll have invoice number. All right, battery is going down. I need to charge it. Now select invoice currency. I'll expand this, sorry, this one. Create invoice date. All right, now for business unit, I have the data coming for business unit, but I have to store the value whatever my user selects based on the drop down. If he selects any value, I have to store it somewhere. That is why I created a variable field in this create invoice. So my business unit will go here. Okay, now for supplier, same way I have to have the value recorded somewhere. Okay, so I will set for supplier, and the supplier side I will select for supplier side. Okay, now this is done. Whatever my user enters will be captured. Now next what I want to do, I have to create the line items. Okay, so if I go to live mode, you can see my user can select any date from the calendar. Okay, so I will simply refresh the page so that that date goes up. Now what I'll do, I'll create I'll create an action chain for that user to insert the line items. Okay, so first I'll go and search a button so that my user can finally, after having all the information, my user can finally submit. All right, so I'll bring the date button here, save button here. I'll call submit. Okay, so I'll call submit. Then what I'll do, I will have to also take the input from here. Okay, so I will go to design tab. I'll select this one. Now I have to select the data. So I'll see from where I can have the data. Okay, so I'll have the line number. I hope I selected line number. Yeah, I selected line number. Then I will have to get the data for this line amount. So I will select the current line amount, line amount. All right, now I have to create an action chain based on this button. So I'll go to event, I'll create an action chain on OJ action. Once my user enters the line amount and line number, he can save that data into my table. Okay, my ADP type of variable, and that variable will be populated with the ADP data. Okay, so I can make use of that one. All right, so here what I can do, to provide the data into my ADP type of variable, I have to make use of data provider event, fire data provider event, because my ADP is a data provider type of variable. So in the event target, I have to select my ADP. This is my ADP. You can see from the symbol, I will select this one. Okay, I'll select this one, and I have to add new entries, right? I have to add new entries. So for that purpose, what I'll do, I will select the data. From where I will get the data? I'll get the data from uh, the current row. Okay, so I'll expand this one, current row. All right, and I will get my data right from here. Okay, now it is there. Now I don't have to provide any keys or index, because these are the new data. Once if I had to edit it or delete it, I have to provide the keys. Okay, I have to provide the keys. Those are mandatory to refer which entry I want to delete from my